Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Tattoos and Telehealth. This is my great colleague, Nicole Baldwin, and I'm Kelly White. And our lawyers always make us say that this video does not constitute a patient-provider relationship. This is by no means medical advice. We're just two gals kind of chatting it up, talking about all the things, a lot of things telehealth, a lot of stuff that we take care of via telemedicine. We kind of like to give you guys what's in, what's out, what's new, what's hot, what you can get taken care of via telemedicine, which is a lot of stuff, especially with us because we're nationwide, so we can do everything. But we have some stuff we want to chat with you all about today. So, peptides are like the hot thing. They've been around for a while, but they're really getting a lot of attention. Um, there's lots of reasons for that I'll kind of skip over. But one of the big things, and that I really, really love, I provide this in IV hydration all the time to my fellow archers, the people I shoot archery with, is NAD. So really, really want to touch on what NAD is today, Nicole. What are your thoughts on NAD? What do you know about it? What are your thoughts on it? Why is it hot? What's the deal?
You know, it is something that exists in every cell of your body already. And so it's a molecule that you already have, that we already have in our body. And so it's not like you're putting something in it or you're taking a pill or whatever. And there's nothing wrong with taking a pill or, whatever. But I mean, we practice Western medicine, right? But this is a molecule that already exists in your body. And it helps turn food into energy. So think of it as the fuel converter that's inside your cells, like little power plants. And as we get older, stress, poor sleep, bad food, American food, and just plain aging can drain our NAD levels. And that's bad news because low NAD is linked to low energy, brain fog, slow or poor recovery, and even accelerated aging. And so naturally, people start wondering, as we educate more people and even providers, how can we top off our NAD tank?
Yeah. And there's a lot of things that you can do kind of naturally on your own. There's like lifestyle strategies. Nicole and I are really big on, you know, pushing you to give you all the tools you need to be successful. And that includes doing things on your own. So, there's some things that you can do like, jumping in on a healthy diet, really balancing your macros, your fats, your proteins, your carbs, really getting in a really healthy, robust diet, lots of fruits, veggies, healthy proteins. Um, Exercise, really getting that good sunshine, healthy exercise, 3 or 4 days a week of regular exercise, good sleep. You guys, you've heard me, hound you about healthy sleep. And even things like calorie restriction, that has been shown to boost NAD levels naturally because, as Nicole just said, oxidative stress is a big factor in what happens or what causes your body to reduce your natural levels of NAD. So there's a lot of things that you can do to make those things better. But at the end of the day, as we age, and especially for some of us that are really active, that have, high stress jobs, active lifestyles, or if we develop autoimmune disorders that create a lot of inflammation in and of itself can reduce your natural NAD levels. Sometimes that's just going to deteriorate despite our best efforts to combat that. So thankfully, there have been so many opportunities and ways for us to naturally replenish our NAD levels. And so you can do that. You can do that IV, you can do that subcutaneously. You can do that orally, though I have some caveats about orally that I'll get to in just a second. So let's hit on IV and subcutaneous. Nicole, what do you think about those two big topics, the IV and the subcutaneous? What are the big differences there?
So NAD can be given several different ways. It can even be given intranasally, but injections are a quick way to replenish the body's level, whether it's a subcutaneous injection or an IV level. And what that does is when we take an oral pill, the acid in our stomach breaks down the molecules, breaks down the medication so that you don't absorb it, right? Just like when you eat something, this acid in your stomach breaks it down so that you can digest it. Well, with that acid, if we were to take it orally, it would be broken down before it gets absorbed. So it really would not give you much. You wouldn't get much from it. It would almost be a waste of your money. So giving it through the IV directly into the bloodstream or under the skin bypasses that gastric acid. And so you get near 100% of what you're taking, especially the IV route. So IV and sub-Q is really the it's my favorite way of taking it is just subcutaneously because patients can give it at home. It's a quick way to replenish your body's levels instead of taking that pill that is essentially giving you very little of the actual NAD supplement. Subcutaneous or IV is the way to go. Now, IVs obviously can't be done at home and not self-administered, but you can go to an IV bar. Those are common, and you can ask for it to be put in there. But subcutaneous is the quickest way. It's very similar to how diabetics give themselves their insulin. It's a very small needle, very little, if any, discomfort. Some patients say, like, did it even go in? Like, I didn't even feel like it's such a tiny, tiny, tiny needle. And those ways that Kelly's talking about, IV or subcutaneous, is a way to get the NAD and ensure that your body is actually benefiting from it because it's not going to be broken down in the stomach with the stomach acid.
And guys, you can get oral NAD, but I would just caution you to do your research. Liposomal MAD is what you want if you're going to take it orally. So if you're just needle phobic and that's just absolutely no way, eat, no go, you're not going to do it, and you want to take it orally, that is fine. Guys, just make sure that it is a liposomal NAD so it can make it through your stomach and get through all the acidic environment and make it into your body. And then, like Nicole said, there's an intranasal option. That's an option too. Just kind of be cognizant of that. If you have really bad sinus problems, you have a deviated septum, you have had a lot of sinus surgeries, you have scar tissue in there, you're probably not absorbing the medication like it's intended to be. So just keep those things in mind. Make sure that the route you're choosing to take the medication is a route that's going to be effective for you. We just want to be sure that the money you're spending is money well spent. And whether that's, orally or IV or subcutaneously, however you choose to do it, just make sure that it's a route that is going to be effective for you. And so one of the things that I hear from people is, I'm fine aging. I want to age gracefully. I want to age naturally. I don't think I really need it. So something that I want you guys to keep in mind is while we don't necessarily care that we're aging gracefully, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Like, I think that there are some beautiful women that have just chosen to age naturally, and that's fantastic. But I want you guys to think about what's happening on the inside of your bodies as you age. NAD levels have shown to reduce oxidative stress and aging on your organs. That means it is neuroprotective. It helps to improve mitochondrial function, which that's like Nicole said, the brain fog. It decreases neurodegenerative diseases, metabolic health, and that means it improves insulin sensitivity, which reduces weight gain. Guys, think about that. As us women that are perimenopausal, like me, when you hit that point where insulin resistance is a big thing and you're worried about weight gain, your metabolic health can really, really, really benefit from NAD. It has cardiovascular health benefits. It really helps improve myocardial bioenergetics. And then just the longevity itself of your overall health and wellness on the inside. So kind of keep those things in mind too when you're considering NAD. All of the, antioxidant things that it helps to work with. It's not just on the outside. So don't think this is something that, we're telling you you can't age gracefully. This is helping you on the inside as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And, some people feel a boost in energy,
Mhm.
improved mental clarity, better mood, and even reduced cravings. So for others, it's more, it's definitely more subtle and it can build over time, especially when used consistently. So how fast do they work? Some people feel benefits within a few hours, and other patients gradual improvement over several injections or however you're receiving it. Just make sure that it's done properly by a licensed provider. And generally NAD injections are very safe. Intranasal, whatever NAD in general is very safe, but they're not for everyone. People with certain medical conditions or sensitivities should definitely check with their healthcare provider first. Um, Whoever you see, your primary care is great to see if this is something that is going to be good for you. They're not a magic bullet, okay? So they don't replace, good sleep, good exercise, managing stress, but they're more like a cellular tune-up, if you will. That's the great part of the bigger picture of wellness. I do have patients that take this for anti-aging or longevity. I do
Oh,
have patients that have had COVID and have brain fog, and they do really well on this. I've had really good results with that as well. Um, So if you're feeling run down, mentally foggy, recovering from an illness, or just looking for that longevity boost, NAD might be worth exploring for you, but always with the guidance of someone who knows your health story. So talk to your provider about it. And Kelly, how often should patients get them? What is the typical dosing, if you will?
So it depends on how you do it, right? So if you're going to do it sub-Q, you can do weekly injections and kind of change that schedule depending on how you respond. And you start out with a low dose if you're going to do sub-Q, and you'll do weekly injections with a low dose and kind of work yourself up to a maintenance dose. If you're doing IV, I tell people once a month is adequate. If you're going to do orally, there's directions on the bottle about how to take them orally, and that's going to depend on whether it's a liposomal and you'll have to follow the directions because each manufacturer of an oral supplement is going to tell you how to take it based on how they have compounded it. Um, the interesting thing about NAD is for you women that have a history of migraines or headaches, that beginning dose, I want you to cut that in half and start out with that half dose because it's gonna take your body just a hot minute to get adjusted to that. But the sub-Q, the most important thing is sub-Q, it's weekly, working your way up. IV, it's monthly, working your way up. And then the other cool thing, Nicole, is that have you seen they're starting to compound NAD in women's face cream?
I have heard about that briefly, and we have looked into that.
I
And
love it.
I like to try things before I
Buy them.
no, before I recommend something,
Oh yeah, yeah.
typically, unless it's like something that I like is not suitable for me personally. But the NAD cream, I have heard about it. I have some ordered. Um, I am, I'll be 46 this year. And so things are aging, things are drooping, things are, all the things, right? All the things. And very, very in menopause. So, things are certainly changing, which is, not always a lovely. But no shame in that. I mean, it is the circle of life nonetheless. So I do have some ordered. So if you want to touch on that, I'm sure some of our ladies would definitely be interested in that as well.
Yes. So I actually have a dear friend of mine who is an esthetician in Alaska, and she ordered some and tried it and absolutely loves it. So it helps. So the similar way that it helps, in our bodies with helping with cellular regeneration and turnover, it does the same thing on your skin level. So it's going to help not only moisturize your skin, but it helps that cellular turnover so it helps with the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles. It helps to reboost your natural collagen levels because it's helping to regenerate your natural production of the tissues that are helping to boost your body's normal elasticity. So when you think about what it can do on the inside, well, it can do the same thing externally on your face by putting those same NAD molecules on your skin. And so it really has some great reviews. I'm excited to try it. I know Nicole's excited to try it. I have had some friends that have tried it and just really like it. I think it's gonna be great. Talking about insulin sensitivity. So last year, you guys know I work out all the time. I'm very athletic. I'm very health conscious. So last year, when I did my labs, my hemoglobin A1C came back just a little high, just right over the high end of normal and showed that I was pre-diabetic. I'm like, wait,
What?
what? Yeah, like 5.6, 5.6. I was like, hmm, I'm almost underweight, like healthy weight, just barely like on that line. I eat really healthy. I work out. Like, what in the world is going on? This has to be an insulin sensitivity. This has to be like a genetic perimenopausal kind of thing. So I started doing really regular NAD, some other peptides that we're going to get into, in other episodes, and just like really honing down on how can I make my body feel as healthy as I feel. And so I'm really excited. I just had my yearly exam, and I'm really excited to get those labs back and see did my A1C and my insulin levels respond to
Yeah.
that NAD. I'm curious.
So how long ago were those labs? Was it last year?
So
Like it's
it was
been about a
last
year?
year. It's been a year, but I didn't start the NAD until last probably fall-ish.
Okay.
So it's been about 6 months since I was doing the NAD. So we'll see.
Okay, so we'll have to make sure we touch on that on a follow-up episode if you don't mind sharing.
Oh,
Uh,
no, no. Curious.
Interesting. Very, very interesting. So that's the skinny on NAD. we will have some information on our website. Additionally, about this, we're going to create a handout that kind of summarizes what we talked about today. So we'll have that as downloadable to you. You can find us at www.hamiltontelehealth.com. You can email me or Kelly. It's our first name, Nicole, or Kelly, KELLI, NICOLE, at myhamiltonhealth.com. You can email us individually. Those are our personal emails. Or you can go to our website. We do telehealth, and we would love to see you and talk to you more about this. If anyone is interested. But just be mindful that this listening to this podcast does not constitute a patient-provider relationship, and this is not medical advice. We are just talking about the benefits of things that are out there, and you should always explore things with your personal provider who knows you and your story before trying anything, actually.
Absolutely. You guys have a wonderful day, and we will see you next week.
See you next week.
Bye.